So we're just now coming to the end of Moark Road at the southernmost side of Missouri. You can see a big red gate there. That's the neighbor's driveway. And we're going to cut left. So Moark Road just ended. And we're going to cut left onto the gravel road to the property. And this is where you may encounter a gate or a cable. We'd be happy to give you the combo for that. There we go. So we'll pull on through here in a second. But also I wanted to mention, if you want to drive to State Line Cove, pull through that first gate, and then instead of continuing south, if you go off to the field, go off to the east, and there's kind of a trail that kind of runs along the tree line at the field, and that will take you all the way down to State Line Cove. You can take a truck or an SUV right down to the water, and actually, I guess you could put your boat or jet ski in right there. So we do own this property, and you've got our permission to use that. I mean, it's not an easement or anything, but as long as we own this chunk right here, you're welcome to do that. If you want some easier access to State Line Cove, if you don't want to necessarily put a trail in going east on your property, then this gives you a really good option to still get to the water. And you'll see that big tower there. This used to be a buffalo ranch, and that, I guess, was a viewing station, so everybody could look at the buffalo. So now we're pulling through to the south, and just follow the gravel road. Beautiful open meadow. We always see deer and turkey out here. This is the nearest neighbor. Super nice guy and his wife, retired. Beautiful lake view. So we're still at the north side of the peninsula. We've actually got some Corps land on the right there. Those white pickets indicate the Corps of Engineer land. And we're going to keep heading south. So this large gray metal building, it's a really good landmark because that's where we come to the Y in the road. So we've just passed the building, pile of gravel, but that won't be there forever. But we come to the Y in the road, and now we're going to go left at the Y in the road. If we were to go right, we would continue all the way down. It goes all the way down to the south side of the peninsula, where that really cool sandy beach area is. So I mean, that's awesome. There are some rough sections in the road, so if you're not in a truck or an SUV, you probably don't want to head down that way. For the most part, it's good, but there is one rocky area where you kind of have to go up some rocks. But anyway, we go to the left. It's just the wildlife out here is amazing. It's like a private zoo. This whole peninsula, it seems like there are some herds of deer and turkeys and whatnot that just stay out here, because almost every single morning we see 10 or 15 or 20 deer in that field. We've been seeing turkey all the time. Now we've come to another Y in the road, and this time we're going to head to the right. If you go left, it just goes to a small field and stops right away. We're going to veer to the right. Really, you do want to have that MapRight link, if at all possible. Download the MapRight app to your smartphone or your tablet, and then we'll send you the link to the active MapRight map. And then if you open your email on your phone, it'll say, do you want to open this, because we'll email you the link. If you open that email, it will say, do you want to open this link within the MapRight program? And you'll say yes. And then the actual interactive map from the listing will open up, and there'll be a little blue dot that indicates where you are. So it's by far the best way to look at these tracts. because this can certainly be confusing. I've been out here many times and I'm still confused by the road system. Obviously these are fairly primitive roads or trails. That is by design. These will never be large paved roads. This is really more for truck and SUV lifestyle. Okay, so we're parked here. We've got a pretty decent way down the gravel easement road. As we look to the north here, that's the little stub road that goes to tracks 6, 7, and 8, if you happen to have a master map with you. So in front of us to the left we have track 9, and we're actually taking a look at tract 66 this morning. So that's going to be on the right side of the road in a little bit. So track 9 probably wasn't very helpful when I said that. Let's look at the right side of the road where we're just passing tract. We just passed track 63. Did we? Yes, I believe so. Okay, so now we've got track 64 on the right. 66 is really an interesting tract. It's a good size one. It's one of the larger tracks out here. And it's got easement road frontage on several sides. Now this is a little rough spot on the road. This is between tracks 64 and 65. And the guys, I'm sure, are going to shape this and get some gravel in here, but in the meantime you want to go slowly. Like we probably mentioned, I mean, these are just minimum maintenance easement roads. They were designed to be somewhat primitive, to be used with trucks or SUVs. That's the whole idea behind kind of the privacy of Timber Shoals Ranch. So now we've come to a Y in the road, and actually, oh, okay. So we can go either way because the property sits right in front of us. I'm looking straight into the sun, so that's going to be an awful photo, but I'll take it anyway. So if we were to hang right, the property would be on the left. If we were to hang left, the property would be on the right. We're going to hang left and drive out toward the little meadow area, which is on the east side of the property. And then that way, as we look to the west, we'll have the sun behind us instead of directly in front of us. And that should make things a little easier. Okay, so the property on the right looks really good. Fairly level, just a gentle slope up from where we are right now. I can see some good timber. I can see some really good timber. Some smaller stuff too, but some monster timber. We saw on the way in, we saw the herd of deer at the north side of the peninsula. It might not be reflected in this video because what we'll probably do is splice in an introduction video to get us back to that point on the roads a couple minutes ago, so everybody can see the drive in instead of just starting halfway. Okay. So again, we still have the property on the right. Oh, this one has this area. I forgot about this. Okay, this is cool. We've got to stop here because this is really cool. We've got the property on the right. We're moving toward the east side. We're not quite there yet, but this is cool enough that I'm going to stop and take a look at it. So I remember this from the very first time we looked at this larger tract out here, is this specific area, which happens to be on the property itself, happens to have some of the biggest trees I've ever seen in my life. We're standing right on the property, and let's go back here so we can get the sun behind us. But again, we're standing right on the property and looking at multiple monstrous trees. I guess this is some type of oak, I'm not sure, but that is about 40 inches diameter, which is enormous. We've got some other medium and big trees over there, but they pale in comparison these monster trees we're looking at. This is a nice open level area as well on the property. So this looks like probably a white oak here, and that is 30 inches diameter. We got another big boy. This is a double, but both of its trunks or whatever are nice and straight. We've got another double there by the truck with straight trunks, and then this is kind of the coolest thing. This is one of the coolest things that we found at Timber Shoals Ranch. This is a monstrous pine tree. Easily one of the top 10s I've seen in my life, if not potentially number one. That is about 3 feet diameter, and it's straight and it's tall. Wow. If you've been watching the videos for a while, you know that I'm impressed by big pine trees, specifically monster pine trees. And this one just takes the cake. So this is the time when I quickly mention that you cannot cut the timber until the property's been paid for in full. After that, you can, if you want, you can cut this monstrous tree. You can sell it to a steakhouse to put over their entrance for $10,000. I only say that because that just recently happened in the town, near the town where I lived. They trucked in a pine tree, not as big as this, that was peeled and stained, and they paid $10,000 or $12,000 to get that log. Not trying to say this one's worth it, but that is a valuable tree. Okay, back to the truck. Actually, this might be a good enough place to do the drone video. Now I'll go to the east side. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, that was a really cool area that I did not realize was on tract 66, but it clearly is. I don't know that that could be a building site because, as you know, you have to be 100 feet off the roads. But that could be a heck of a nice yard or a garden site or whatever. Okay, so now we've arrived at this big field, and we hang a left. So we're kind of going along the edge of the field, and property on the right. So we'll just pull up somewhere and park, and we'll do a little walking. If you're not already bored from my little spree looking at the big timber, then stick with us, and we'll do a little walking and check out this property. This field, by the way, is another one that is just thick with deer almost every single time we're out here. So here's the property again, and check out the listing to see the drone video. We love those because you can see so much in such a quick amount of time. We discovered that if you do the drone videos in the winter, you can get what we believe to be the most honest representation of a property, is looking at a drone video in the middle of winter. You could spend several days walking this property on foot and still not see what you see in a wintertime drone video. So we think those are pretty cool. I love how this property is situated. It's practically flat, but just enough of a rise to kind of make it interesting. I see more hardwood trees. I see cedar trees. I mean, I see all kinds of different types out here. And we're only seeing, of course, the tiniest portion of the property. You can, as always, you can check InstantAcres.com to see if this tract is still available. If it is, then you'll see it on the website. We leave the videos on YouTube, and I know people get mad at us because they think everything on YouTube is available. Unfortunately, it's not. But we've had so many buyers request that we leave the videos on YouTube that is what we do, even after a property is sold, unless they ask us to take it off, of course. Now this is cool. Now we found an area with some nice cedar trees. This is a mix of cedar and hardwood trees here. This is just great. You could create a building site practically anywhere with just an afternoon with a chainsaw. Well, you can't cut the timber with a stump diameter of over 8 inches. So you measure at the ground. This one's about a 2-inch stump diameter. You could cut that. The bigger stuff, we can give you written permission to cut if you're doing it for a building site or a driveway. You just have to mark it with ribbons, and we can have a guy come and check it out. And you can get that written permission to do that. You've got to come see this property. It's great. I'm seeing building site after building site. We're several hundred feet off the easement roads now. We're very private. This is level. And you could literally create a good building site and driveway with a chainsaw in one afternoon. Super nice property. Very, very close, obviously, to Bull Shoals Lake, where you can fish year-round. It's the middle of winter today, and it's going to hit about 65, 68 degrees this afternoon. So we do love the Ozarks. That's why we're here. InstantAcres.com.